King David has several sons by different wives. That gives a lot of problems in his family. Absalom was his third oldest son. Today the story is about him. He has a beautiful sister, Tamar. One day something terrible happens. Another son of the king, Amnon, the firstborn, rapes Tamar. When Absalom finds out what has happened to his sister, he is very angry. He wants to take revenge. Absalom refuses to speak to Amnon. But 2 years later, Absalom has a plan. He has sheep shearers, and that's a nice occasion to make a party. He goes to his father, the king, and says, "Please, will you come and join me?" "No, my son," the king replies. Then Absalom asks if his brothers all can come, including Amnon. King David agrees with this plan. Absalom orders secretly his men. "Listen, we will give Amnon a lot of wine to drink. When he is drunk and I say to you, 'Strike Amnon down,' then kill him." When this happens, all the other sons of the king are shocked. They run away and flee. When King David hears the story, he is so sad. What a sinful things are happening in his family. Absalom cannot come back home. He needs to stay in another country. After 3 years, the commander of David's armies, Joab, sees that David is longing to see his son Absalom again. He tries to resolve the problem and invites a wise woman to see the king. The woman arrives dressed as a widow in mourning clothes. "I had 2 sons," she explains, "but they got into a fight. One killed the other. Now everyone is saying, 'Hand over the son who murdered, so we can put him to death for taking the life of his brother. This son is all I have.'" King David replies, "Go home. I will issue an order to stop them killing your son." Then the wise woman says, "But king, why do you not the same with your son Absalom? Why can't he come back?" David summons Absalom to come back to Jerusalem, but he doesn't want to see him yet. It still takes 2 other years before David welcomes his son back into his palace. When Absalom arrives, he bows down before his father. Then King David kisses his son. You can see how difficult it is to forgive someone else who has wronged you. But that is what God does. Our sins make us enemies of God. But He still wanted to give His Son to get our punishment, so that our sins can be forgiven. Ask the Lord to help you to forgive others as well who have wronged you. But Absalom is still not a good son. He becomes very proud. He provides himself with a chariot and horses and 50 men to run ahead of him. Everyone praises him for his handsome appearance. Absalom is particularly proud of his hair. He cuts it only once a year, and then the weight of the cut hair is about 5 pounds. Absalom is often sitting in the city gate. There he meets the people who are coming to the king for a judgment. Absalom talks with them, and he says, "I can see that you are right in this matter. It's just a pity the king will not say the same. I wish I was the judge. Then anyone with a case could come to me, and I would give him justice. And when anyone comes to bow to him, Absalom doesn't let him do so, but instead he shakes his hand and kisses such a man. So in this way Absalom becomes very popular with the people of Israel. After a long period of gaining popularity, Absalom thinks, "Now it's my time. I will make myself king." He goes to his father, King David, and asks, "Can I go to Hebron? In the past I have promised God to make a sacrifice when he would bring me back to Jerusalem." David gives him permission to go. Absalom goes with 200 guests to Hebron. When he gets there, he sends messengers to every part of Israel. They announce, "As soon as you hear the trumpets, you will know that Absalom has been crowned in Hebron." Do you think the Lord will bless such a plan? God has chosen David to be king. So what will happen now?